current post-11/9 world, the shock of Donald Trump's win over Hillary Clinton has subsided and has been replaced with the daily, or rather hourly, or really rather minutely, shock at the going-ons of this administration. It's like a circus, but a circus where each event could lead to a death sentence for millions of people in the crowd, or where instead of handing the baton to your fellow acrobat, you hand your country over to a foreign adversary. Democrats know that if they want to put an end to the charade, they will have to reclaim the House in 2018. But how do they plan to do that? Well, apparently by screwing over the very people who led the resist movement, fought day in and day out to save the ACA, and who predominantly voted Democrat in the fall. You guessed it, the Democrats have decided to sell out us ladies. On Monday, Representative Ben Lujan, who chairs the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, said the more the merrier when it comes to allocating funds to candidates, even if they oppose abortion rights. He said there's not a litmus test for Democratic candidates. I'm Hannah Cranston, and my litmus test for human decency includes protecting women's choice. So here are some choice words for members of the Democratic Party who don't think women should have the right to make decisions about their own bodies. Now, I get it, Representative Lujan. The election happened. We're all wondering, how do we get those Trump voters back on our team? And you think to yourself, well, if you can't beat them, join them.
I am pro-life. There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
81% of evangelicals around the country heard this and were like, yep, that's my dude.
Do you want to see the court overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be, will happen. And that'll happen automatically, in my opinion, because I am putting pro-life justices on the court.
9 out of 10 Republicans heard this and were like, nah, but I'll still get my tax cut, right? And still voted for the man who wanted to take decisions about what happens to their bodies out of women's hands and hand it over to 2, perhaps 3 justices. So I get the appeal of broadening your base by broadening your litmus test of where candidates stand on certain issues. But abortion, it cannot be one of those issues. When you take away a woman's right to abortion, you take away her right to bodily autonomy, which should be an inalienable human right. By promoting anti-choice candidates, you tell the women who campaigned tirelessly for Hillary Clinton, who came out in the millions on January 21st for the Women's March, the true catalysts to the resist movement, the women who fought for the ACA, whether through protesting, writing letters, or even voting against their own party to protect choice. You tell them that they don't matter, that you're willing to prioritize the pursuit of a few seats in the House over their rights, and that their pink pussy hats were they were made in vain. Women are the backbone of their party and of the movement fighting against Trump. And yet in their new policy push called A Better Deal, Democrats left out abortion rights in favor of economic policies surrounding jobs, wages, and reducing the burden of families. But what do you know? These are all areas that are actually improved upon by legalized abortion. Reproductive choice is an economic issue. Reproductive freedom gives women the opportunity to attain an education and enter the workforce, take more control over their financial decisions, and gives women the choice to decide if and when they want to start having children, which reduces the burden on families. And 7 out of 10 Americans understand this. They get that choice is a human right and that we all benefit when women are treated as humans, especially when it comes to the economy and combating poverty. So why, if the majority of Americans are pro-choice, is the Democratic Party abandoning us now? After all that we've done. Maybe it's because in the eyes of some, women represent little more than a bargaining chip in the electoral game, easily sacrificed in the pursuit of a few more votes. When it's convenient, you pander to us. But at the end of the day, when you support people opposed to our basic rights, we know that you don't have our backs. Maybe you never did, and you're just as bad as the other guys. Share this video brought to you by TYT with your friends to call these Dems out, and follow me at Hannah Cranston.